presentation of the 2023-2024 annual budget. Before we get started, I'd like to thank all the hardworking people in our organization, in the finance department, that put together this budget. It's quite complex. It takes quite a while, several months as a matter of fact. And we're very proud to say that this year we've managed to up our budget up to $67.3 million, which is $4,300,000 more than the last fiscal year budget, this fiscal year ending. And we also are projected to have just short of a $5 million surplus at the end of this year, after all the projected revenues and expenses are considered. Those increases were due to increased interest rates, projected revenue increases in electric gaming devices, and additional funds received from Indigenous Service Canada. They upped the amount of money we get per year by a small amount. And the surplus that we end up with, the $4.8 million, will be appropriated to the operational reserve to cover any future operational needs. I know there's going to be probably some specific questions, and for that I would refer to Onerahtókha, Marquis, our executive director, and if anybody has any other questions, Stephan is here from the finance department to answer any other questions. And we also have Erica DeLille here as well, who's sitting off camera for those that are watching this on camera. And gentlemen, the floor is yours.
I'll just come in with maybe a little bit more comments before you guys ask some questions. But again, just wanted to thank you all for taking the time being here with us today for MCK's fiscal year 2023-2024 annual budget. Again, Yawa, Joe, and Lindsay for your opening remarks, and also wanted to take this opportunity to acknowledge the hard work of the finance department. Lindsay introduced Stephan. He's been the executive finance officer for the MCK for about 8 months now, so still relatively new, learning the ropes. Erica DeLille, Director of Financial Services, and our new financial manager, Bear Lazar, is also here. Again, just wanted to thank them for all their hard work and extra hours over the last few months. It really takes a lot of time and energy to put together this complex budget. Also want to acknowledge all of the key leadership within the organization who contributed to the development of the budget. As you are all aware, there's been a lot of new faces added to the MCK and changes in senior management, so this year's budgeting process was a little bit more challenging, but I think through a lot of collaboration and patience, we were able to put together this new budget. And proud to say that we're in a position to be able to present to you guys all today. Maybe a little repeat of some of the information that Lindsay had already shared with you guys. So our new fiscal year budget, again, we're looking at fiscal year 2023-2024, so that begins April 1st and goes up until March 31st, 2024. Our budget is $67.3 million, $4 million more than the previous annual budget. Again, main areas that contribute to that increase include salary and benefits, fuel, travel, and training. Again, as Chief Lindsay alluded to, we are projecting a $4.8 million surplus in this operating budget. This is due to increased interest rates in the market, increases in the electronic gaming devices revenue, as well as additional revenue that we will be receiving from Indigenous Services Canada. We will be appropriating this projected surplus into the operational reserve. This reserve is set aside for both organizational and community needs. Some of the major highlights in the new budget that we wanted to touch on a little bit includes some investments in the housing unit. I don't want to share too much information at this point because there is going to be a special housing press conference in the coming weeks where they will be making major announcements. So please keep an eye out for that date. Some of you may have already noticed that the housing unit launched a communications plan, and that's something that will be ongoing moving forward. In the new budget, again, as mentioned, we are anticipating increased revenues from the 2 electronic gaming devices, the 2 facilities in the community. These 2 areas of own source revenue, along with others, are a very fundamental aspect of our budget because these dollars allow us to invest into programs and services that are not funded by the external governments. In addition to that, we know that this year we will have to replace 5 school buses. These new school buses will be electric and will require an investment of about $2 million. Segue into more of my closing remarks. While the MCK still is in a very healthy financial situation, we can never take anything for granted. With inflation already impacting our purchasing power and a potential recession on the horizon, we need to remain mindful and vigilant in how we manage the community funds. The new MCK strategic plan, which will be shared with the community in the coming weeks, will also be a document that helps guide how we will financially plan and spend dollars in the short term and in the long term. As always, own source revenue and generating those dollars for our own purposes will remain a priority as we strive towards self-sufficiency. And this is a main strategy so that we could ensure that we're always meeting the evolving needs of the community. In closing, the new executive team, which has now been filled over the past 2 years, we will be working closely with the Council of Chiefs to start the development of a long-term financial plan for the organization and the community. This obviously will involve collaboration with the other EDC organizations and other entities within the community. This broader plan will be guided by proper fiscal management, sustainability, and community consultation. To close it up, I think the MCK, as always, remains committed to identifying and addressing both organizational and community needs. A lot of work still lies ahead of us as we start the development of this broader plan, and we will ensure that we provide timely updates to the community as things progress on that front. With that, again, just want to thank you for the time showing up here today. I'm not sure if Stephan wanted to add any other remarks before you guys ask us some questions.
Just to clarify, in that $67 million budget, there's basically no transfer to external organization included in there? Just to clarify, it was just for the MCK budget.